everyone. Kelly Weber here today. And today, my guest is Warren Zysman with Warren Z Business Strategies. Warren, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kelly.
It's good to have you. So, Warren is a business coach. I have known Warren for many years, and you have a very unique story. You were in one industry, and now you've become a coach. Can you tell us how you got into this business?
Okay, as far as how I decided on coaching, after my business closed, I actually worked for three different large companies over a 5-year period, and every company ended the same way. When you work for yourself, when you go to the other side of the table, it never ends well. So instead of me expecting a different outcome, which is the definition of insanity, I thought long and hard, what do I enjoy doing? When I was running my business, I would constantly be coaching people informally. I would be working with employees that were lower down the level and help them better themselves because I've always wanted to give to people. So being able to actually sit with someone and help them get better, I thought, well,
Well,
there you go.
you're doing what you love.
Exactly. And it's totally different than running a big construction business where there's a tremendous amount of pressure day in and day out. After doing it for 3 decades, I had enough.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something that made me feel good and I could do into retirement because it's something I enjoy. So then it's not a job. It's something that I feel I can help many people with. And that's what gives me the inspiration to want to do it and also be the best coach I can be, being that I've gone through so much harm and bad things. I want to turn it around and turn it
Do
into a
something
positive.
good.
And giving back is, as a coach, is how I think I can accomplish that goal.
Well, like you said, you were doing it anyway,
Right.
when you owned your own
Yeah.
company. And to me, do what you love and the money will come,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Because it's not a job then.
It's
That's the
not
difference.
exactly, it's not a
You're
job
not
then.
punching a clock and going through the motions because I've seen many people do that. They're miserable. And I've always said, why not change? But
Hmm.
change is hard, and most people aren't willing to change. They'll
Right.
just keep complaining. And I say to them, take all that negative energy, make it positive, and you'll be better off in the long run. But the unknown is always scary. And believe
Yes.
me, I've been through the unknown, not knowing what I'm going to do in the future.
Well,
So,
that's what stops everybody. Fear is a huge,
yes, yes.
basically stopping your tracks, and that's what prevents people from moving forward in life.
Correct. And it's basically your mind playing tricks on you. I'm learning this in my class. It's a defense mechanism. So you make up all these excuses, like, for example, a procrastinator. They
Mm.
do that because the mind is saying, oh, if you put this off, you won't fail or you won't have a reason. It's just making negative okay. So you have to learn to take a negative and turn it into a positive. So that's the way I look at things now. If I think something's impossible, I say, no, it's a challenge
Yeah.
and I don't give up easily. So it's all in the mind.
It's your
And once you
mindset.
get in touch with your mind and the tricks it plays on you, sky's the limit.
That's
And
awesome.
it's
That is
amazing.
awesome. So tell me, so who is your ideal person that you would be coaching, and why is there a specific industry? Is it anybody who owns a business?
Yes, it's anybody who owns a business because right now I'm mentoring a woman who owns a recording studio in Fort Lee.
Oh,
She
that's great.
inherited it from her father, and basically she has no business experience. She's 24 years old. So
Wow.
when I was filming my first video in her studio, she overheard the conversation and heard that I was going to be a business coach. And she said, are you willing to help me? And I said, sure. So I've been working with her since December.
That's great.
And I've been meeting with her every week to 2 weeks, and we put a whole structure in place. She's changing her focus of her business. So she's focusing on one niche that will separate her from the pack. I'm helping her work with a potential investor to get money into the business, put systems in place. She has an issue where she thinks she's doing everything herself
Yeah.
and she's killing herself. So I've helped her put responsibilities in place and define what people that work with her can do them instead of her.
So smart. I'm telling you,
Run the business and not work in the business.
it's so true. And again, me owning my own business,
Yeah,
you owning your,
it's
we
an
think we need to do
entrepreneur.
everything.
Right? Because you think, oh, if I have to show somebody, I might as well do it myself, or
Right.
they're not going to know what I want. But it comes back to setting up roles, responsibilities, and KPIs. And I said, you don't have to know all the minutia. We'll set up reports for you. So on a weekly basis or however time frame you need to know, you'll see the information to know, is the company headed in the right direction? So I've been guiding her
That's
and just
awesome.
advising her. I don't tell anyone what to do. I ask some critical questions to make them start thinking. So it's them that's solving the problem. I'm just there to guide them.
Guide them along the
Yeah.
way. So you mentioned KPI, which isn't that like a personality, you
No,
know?
that's a key program indicator. So it's a metric to determine, is your business doing well? Is it profitable? So you check percentages. In her case, how many hours of the studio time is being billed? What's your internal cost? We help set up a monthly budget so she knows what the bottom line number is just to keep the lights on. And we go from there. We go into how you can build your business over
Mhm.
time, how to set up estimates for what it's going to cost to scale the business. So it's an ongoing thing to
That, I
just,
mean, people think they just go into business and the business grows, but if you're
right,
not setting it up correctly from the start, you're
right.
almost setting yourself up for failure. And
Or
that's
you realize you get to the point where you're making money, but if you take yourself out of the equation, the business stops.
stops.
So
Right.
I'm teaching her how to delegate, and then she'll be able to increase the number of clients. And with the processes streamlined, she won't feel like she has to be the center of the universe because that's where she is now. But today we had a breakthrough session, and she's finally realizing now that the world doesn't revolve around
Around
her.
her.
And we're setting up a system now where she basically knows what tasks she has to get done. We set up a calendar and I set up action items with her with a drop dead date. And every task she has to assign to somebody and follow up. So I'm keeping her
Or
on.
accountable. Yeah.
I'm
And
keeping her accountable because we share a calendar online, so I see everything she's doing. So it makes me feel so good to see I'm actually helping her. And right now, I'm not charging her any money. I get the recording time for free. She doesn't have a lot of money to work with, so I'm mentoring her.
oh, that's wonderful. And you're able to do work at the recording studio, like you said, for your, it's almost like
Yeah,
a bar, it's a barter.
it's a barter.
It's a
Again,
barter
it's not always
system.
about money. And I
Yeah.
know over time, I'll help her continually. She'll help me with her network. So I have the bigger picture in mind, just reaching out and doing whatever it takes so
To get it
people get
done.
to learn who I am and what I can do for them. And it's a no pressure sale.
Yeah.
Either it's a fit or it's
Or
not.
you're
I'm not going
not.
to take everyone on
Who
just
is
for the
your
sake of,
ideal, who would be your ideal client?
okay. So either an entrepreneur just starting out who's been successful, but doesn't know how to get a formal company structure in place so they can manage it and not run it. Then there's a company that's established and has their systems in place, but doesn't know how to scale to the next level. I have experience doing that because we started out working in New York City, and towards the end of the business, we were working in 19 states across the country.
Wow.
So that's a different type of
Scalable.
method to grow. I started advertising in trade publications. I did advertorials where I spoke on different subjects related to the industry. I did national trade shows to promote the brand. I was an advisor for a trade show and helped them plan. So I got to meet key decision makers.
Makers,
So
wow.
networking is a powerful tool and brand building. And you can't be afraid. If you want to take it to the next level, your thinking changes. What worked to
What
get to
didn't?
where you are does not work when you want to go through the glass ceiling. So I understand you're going through multiple glass ceilings as your company grows, and not every person understands. They know where they want to go, they just don't know how to
How to
get.
get there. Right.
So I'm leveraging what I did over my career to make it easier for them, give them options. So
Uh,
those are the two key uh,
People that
client
you work
types
with.
that I
And,
work with.
and let's face it, everybody at some point or another, whether it's in a business or,
Right.
diet and exercise, everybody hits that ceiling
Yes.
and you need something different to either do or someone
Right.
different to
Yeah.
get you to break through that ceiling.
Right. You have to have foresight. And like I say, you have to have at least a 1 year, 3 year,
Mhm.
5 year business
Plan.
plan that you revisit twice a year because things are constantly fluid and in motion, which is what I did over my career, and that allowed us to grow. So there's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming, especially if you're running the business yourself and you don't have people that you can trust. So you feel, oh, I have to do it myself. So there's a lot of different pieces that have to fall together
In
to
order
get
to
you out of being the center of your business. You know when your business is running well, when it could run without you.
without you.
That's when you know you made it.
So true. And I mean, I wish I had somebody like you 21 years ago when I
Right.
started my own business.
Yeah,
And, again, a lot of failures,
of course.
happened over those 21 years, but you know what? They were really opportunities for me.
And that's another thing. If you're afraid to fail, you're never going to grow. And a lot of
Right.
people play it safe and they end up doing well, but they could do better
Better.
if they were risk takers. And we both know I took a lot of risks. And at the end, it didn't pay off because different points of view with family members.
Yep.
But the next phase was going national, which would have
Wow.
been huge. But again, difference in opinions.
Yep.
But again, I learned a lot from that. And
Well,
here
you're
I am
taking what
today.
you learned and now
Right,
giving it to people who are either, like you said, entrepreneurs just
right,
starting out and hopefully helping them not make the
right.
same mistakes,
Correct.
or people who are looking to get to the next level, how to
Right.
do things differently and more
Yes.
effectively, cost effectively,
Yes.
and what do they say? Smarter,
Work smarter, not
not
harder.
harder. Yep. Yep. So true.
Yeah. Right.
So I have to tell you, you are going to be somebody that I am going to have on speed dial. I have so
Okay.
many, I think I'm thinking of, five
Right.
people right off the bat that
Okay.
have businesses that have just been sailing along,
Right.
not really, not
Sure.
declining or growing that I know would love to go to the next level.
Right.
To me, you're an easy referral for, like you said, an
Sure.
entrepreneur,
Right.
business owners, or somebody looking to go to the next level. I am going to put your contact information in the post.
Okay.
And I mean, anything else we want to touch base on that people should know about you in order to
Right.
contact you, to bring the business to the next or their business to the next level?
I mean, beside being a general contractor for 30 years, I had three other jobs that touched on different parts of the construction industry. I worked for a big plumber who was a $40 million company.
Wow.
I was his operations manager. So I helped him become more efficient. I realigned all his employees. I got rid of duplicative responsibilities. I streamlined his billing because he had a service business and he was getting over 1,000 bills a month. And
Wow.
I automated it where the email went right into his payables module, and that streamlined. Uh, I was also the director in real estate of a franchise company, the Halal Guys, and I worked with franchisees around the world. I opened locations as far away as Indonesia, and I
Wow.
helped the franchise owners find locations before they sign leases. I helped them find a general contractor and architect, and I was involved with every process along the way until the location opened. I had weekly calls with the contractors, the vendors. I kept on top of everything.
You're a big deal.
Then the last job I had, I worked for a construction management company, a billion-dollar company out of New York City, and I managed a $25 million dollar emergency construction contract for the New York City School Construction Authority. And I managed schools in the boroughs of Manhattan and the Bronx, over 500 schools. I was one of
Wow.
four
Yeah.
vendors. So any type of problem, night or day, I had to take care of. We had schools that flooded, that we had to basically get rid of all the water. We had to deal with electrical issues, plumbing issues. We had to do asbestos abatement. We had to replace a 70-year-old gym floor. We worked in schools where they had structural problems, where the building was tipping.
Oh,
We had
gee.
to put steel columns in to support it. I worked in schools with oil leaks where we had to dig up an old pipe, do the remediation, get the clear, and rebuild it. So I think in addition to my business, I worked in other areas
There
that
he is.
a bigger sense of the industry from different perspectives. So I think I can tap into
I was
different
just gonna
situations.
It might have been easier or shorter to ask you what you haven't done because it seems like you've done everything. And honestly, I mean, somebody as well-rounded as you and all different areas of the business and also being hands-on is huge.
Right. Yeah.
So I look so forward to seeing where you and your business goes, and I am going to have your contact
Right.
information will be put on this post,
Sure.
and I can't say enough good things about you, and
I
I look
appreciate
forward to referring you over and over again. And anybody out there listening, I say reach out to Warren. You do consults, I'm assuming.
it. Yes.
Yeah, for a consult, and who knows, you may or may not be able to help, but at least
Right.
it's
We
a
could try.
conversation and you could point somebody in the right direction.
And also they can look at my website. There's information there, and there's a link that they could schedule a call with me.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll also include that
Okay.
in
Sure.
the link as well that people can click on it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day
Sure.
and meeting with me today. And I look forward to getting together again. And
Sure.
we'll
I
do a
appreciate it.
follow-up to all
Right.
these interviews that I'm doing. So Warren, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate your time.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks,
Okay.
Warren.
Bye.
Bye-bye.